Is it time, boys and girls? Last one was very aware. Second one maybe even more aware. A lot of people told me, when I took a register yesterday, on Twitter and stuff, when I made some replies, yo, careful with the second documentary. You got cooked. Let's see. Vamos. At the end of the day, nobody's getting cooked. This is a thing that has to be addressed. If I did something wrong, of course I will stand for it. Let's have a look, bro.
This is the second part of the documentary I have made to call out the gambling practices within CSGO. You definitely need to watch the first part before watching this one, and I know it's a bit long, but you cannot treat a subject like that in a 30-second format. Time to address the elephant in the room, that is Valve. It is a fascinating company with a tentacular influence. A fun fact about them is how scalable their business model is. Valve brings 33 times more gross revenue per employee than Amazon, and this is something they
Steam, gross revenue per employee in millions! 11 million. Amazon, 0.3. The team is super small, but the amount of money that they reckon is ridiculous.
Brings 33 times more gross revenue per employee than Amazon, and this is something they talked about. They have designed it that way. If there is money to be made efficiently, you can trust that Valve is gonna be right around the corner. In 2016, after the media started to catch up with what was happening around CSGO and gambling, if you remember Phantom Lord and Tim Martin, you know, bunch of good humans, Valve was forced to react, and they have addressed this now famous cease and desist letter towards those CSGO gambling websites, telling them to stop operating within 10 days or they will take action.
Bro, do you know what's the most aware thing? Look, these sites were the ones that got targeted. CSGO Lounge, CSGO Big, CSGO Fast. Brother, correct me if I'm wrong, but CSGO Big, CSGO Fast, aren't they still around and still like sponsoring left and right people? Just operating normally? How are these sites still around if they got cease and desisted?
Right? That was 7 years ago. So, out of curiosity, I checked how many of these websites are still online today. You would think there would be none, but actually no, 5 of them are still here, operating like nothing ever happened. They still have CSGO in their name, they still accept deposit and withdraw with CSGO skins, and
bro, and I don't want to be that guy, but because I saw as well someone replying on the last video, ohnePixel as well, it's one thing, because you don't support those sites, maybe that's why Valve, their Twitter account keeps retweeting your stuff. My friend, they couldn't give a fuck. Oh, sorry, they are not giving a fuck. Look at this, CSGO Big, sponsored by literally CSGO Big, a site that they ceased and desisted. On the profile, sponsored by CSGO Big, csgobig.com/, and this... yeah! First they liked one of my tweets and I was happy. Now just after 7 days, my birthday, they messaged me and gave me CS2 access. They do not care. And if you say, oh, but it's just a social media guy. Brother, you saw how little the team is. Everything that's happening related to CS, when the tweet comes out, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would feel like that everybody is aware, or like somebody could say, oh, but look, isn't that a site we cease and desisted? They keep retweeting stuff that it absolutely doesn't matter. They don't... To my understanding, care at all.
They still use the Steam
alert. Sorry, if I miss anything afterwards. And kudos to everyone who's subbing during. Much love.
Login API. What was the point of that letter? I don't know. What we do know is that technically, any use of the Steam API for commercial purposes is breaching their TOS. And recently, like 2 months ago, they updated their Steam online conduct policy to include that gambling is also prohibited. Following that, in the next month, about 100 plus traders that seem to be linked to gambling got banned for a hard loss of $10 million in skins. So every evidence seems to point towards the fact that Valve knows exactly what is going on around CSGO and gambling, but either they do not want to take action or they cannot take action. Either way, nothing changes. And now it is time to talk about the CSGO cases, and Counter-Strike, please hear me out. I know just how popular these things are, but let's look at it strictly from the facts. You're spending money to open one, something spins and the outcome is random, and the item you get in exchange can be 3 cents, just like 30,000. In fact, what is the first thing you're gonna do after?
Oh. Okay.
unboxing an item that is a little bit rare.
Not check the price.
Right click, sell on the community market, and check the price of what you've just unboxed. And if you
People do that? Okay. Nine, of course, jokes aside, cases are gambling as well. He's gonna get into it. Let's let him talk.
really think about it, how different is it from the CSGO gambling websites we talked about earlier? Have you ever been asked to verify your age or your identity to open CSGO cases? So now, as I make my case, let's open a few. Most of the things that would be considered a problem for the CSGO gambling websites would also apply here. You can deposit with many methods, and you can also use the Steam gift cards, which are sold in many physical stores. So if you don't have a credit card, it's not a problem. The opening animation looks very similar to slot machines, and we even find similar mechanics like a near miss. Look. Here's one. You can spend how much you want and you won't trigger any alarm, and you can easily sell your winnings on the Steam market to get some more balance and gamble it again. Your age won't get verified and there isn't any self-exclusion feature. And on top of it, you can cash out your winnings to your bank account with the...
Is that true? Because I was thinking about this as well. Did someone ever try to like message support? Because I would really be interested in knowing what they say. Because he messaged some of the third-party case opening sites and they said, sorry, we don't have that feature. I wonder what Steam would say if you would send a ticket, hey, I want to self-exclude myself from opening CSGO cases. Is there a way? I wonder what they would respond with. You can't. Yeah. Can someone do that? I would love to see what they reply. And then put it on the Reddit or something.
help of third parties. I am not describing an unregulated gambling website. I am talking about Counter-Strike. These are the features available to anyone who has access to the game, regardless of their age. In the month of March 2023, it's estimated that Valve made around $100 million in profit coming from CSGO cases. We know that because 39.5 million cases were opened during that month, and $2.50 each, we are closing in on 100 million. Think of it this way, by buying a key, you're going to deposit $2.50 and you hope to get something greater than your deposit. This is what CSGO cases are. However, in this case, unlike a casino, you are not playing against Valve, right? Like, if you open an item that can be sold for €300.
Hey! Hey! God. Hey!
Or in this case, €20,000.
Bro, the description. 99% of gamblers quit right before they hit the big one. Oh my god.
Well, that money isn't gonna come from Valve. They will come from a player that will buy the skin from you. So, on your deposit, the $2.50, essentially, their house edge is 100%.
Bro, what is that example skin, I swear.
Valve keeps
Why a Mac 10 Heat?
everything. And in fact, if you sell your skin on the Steam market, Valve will take another 15% cut on top of the sale. Like I said, if there is money to be made efficiently, Valve is gonna be right there. And while CSGO gambling websites are very popular, CSGO case unboxings are even more.
It'll always be my all-time favorite game. It will! Yes! Woo! I love Counter-Strike. Talk to me. How much is it worth? I need to know in chat. Spam it. That's a $16,000 knife, just like that. 3, 2, 1.
Oh shit, he's doing it.
Huh?
Let's go! Yeah.
Why is Propagator blurred out?
Fucking delusion. Top notch.
Thank God! Thank fucking God!
Now the mood is completely. It's set up for it. Oh, it's another blue.
The thing is,
It's set up for it.
this would have still been a loss. I'm pretty sure that this dualies wouldn't have even been money back, by the way.
Oh, it's another blue.
What we got for you here is a case opening.
In today's video, I am going to be opening 500 recoil cases.
10 of every single case.
2 of every single case. 300 revolution case.
2,000 revolution cases.
Juiced.
Ah! Yes! 1.5 minutes left!
Oh my god. This is one fan who combobulated every knife that I've ever opened. Oh god. Why is the list on the right is... Oh yeah, it was quite aware when I saw it. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, no. I know what I'm about to say, bro. This is why I play the hobby. Oh my. Bro, oh god, here we go. Holy this feeling! Oh my, I feel so alive right now. Oh my god, I'm so addicted, I think.
Unboxing a gold item is like having a
Never mind, but I did say that as well.
jackpot lineup in a slots machines. In fact, take one of those, replace the fruits and the symbols with CSGO skins, and you have a CSGO case. That's the reason they all react that way, and you might have noticed, they also show the value of the item, because they're not excited by the item itself, but the value behind it. If they would unbox the same item, but it would be sold for €3, do you think they would react the same? Of course not. They are yelling because they know they've won something, as if they've just hit the jackpot.
I want to say no, but yes. I don't know. For me, it's not all about money, else I would be playing slots. I've never played slots. I never found slots interesting. Cases I do find interesting. Why? Because I love skins. Stop the cap. I'm not true. I do like stuff like I've gambling as well. I may have like sports gambling. I do find interesting as well. For example, something like slots, zero interests me. Or CSGO case opening sites. The case inside of CSGO does interest me. Why? Because it's from the game. It's if I get something, it's actually something random. It could be this. It could be that. But yeah, I guess at the end of the day, it is the biggest part, of course. Oh, look, is this a good knife that I got? Is this a bad knife that I got? Of course. But I as well can get very excited for an item that's not worth a lot. So I want to say true, but as well, for me at least, I can as well get excited for a skin if it's like rare or whatever, but other people don't care about it. Chad, why come? Okay, this is gonna be a long video, huh?
And down the line, even the ones who refuse to promote CSGO gambling websites will end up promoting gambling through the CSGO cases. That's what I want you to understand, it's overwhelmingly present. And to clarify, I am not calling out these individuals for opening CSGO cases. I'm just highlighting the problem inherent to the design and the accessibility of those CSGO cases. Some are actually opening these cases as a way to show that because the odds are low, you should gamble on their sponsors, but some others refuse to promote unregulated gambling sites and they are just spending their money in CSGO cases while saying that you shouldn't do it. There's a bit of everything, obviously, and I wanted to add this nuance. However, the result of this is that if 80% promote unregulated gambling sites, and out of the 20% others, let's say that half are doing CSGO case openings, that leaves us with 10% that do not engage and do not promote these gambling behaviors. In the youngs and in the adults, we are creating a habit, a normalization. Keep in mind, we are talking about a game. Counter-Strike is a bloody FPS. The focus of the content should be around the game, but in many cases, it's not. Gambling is everywhere.
A fast-paced slot machine.
In CSGO, and you will find it in different forms, and I would even argue that it's become impossible to dissociate gambling and CSGO at this point. And the whole ecosystem is very profitable if you happen to be in the middle of this and remain quiet.
Chain of responsibility.
The reason I'm attacking everyone all at once is because if you zoom out, you'll realize everything is connected. Let's look at the distribution chain. For the CSGO websites to reach the audience, there needs to be a lot of complicity from the industry. The websites are using the trademark and the API of Steam, so if Steam would stop them, that would be the end, but they don't. Now the content creators, they are tied by different laws and it would be illegal for them to promote unregulated gambling sites. There's also the question of ethic and morals and the advertising rules that even if they were promoting legal gambling, they would have to respect. These are points of tension that could break this chain, but it's not enough pressure to refuse the money. So now they are depending on the next link, which is the platforms. Both Twitch and YouTube clearly say they forbid it. In fact, have a look at this interview from the Twitch CEO.
The thing that was growing was these unregulated offshore gambling sites. And so the amount of money that was flowing where our creators was building the community to drive people to these sites, it was a significant amount of money. So we decided we banned the unregulated, but in general, there's no problem with streaming gambling. But we do have a problem if you're streaming these unregulated third-party sites.
Well, I guess it doesn't apply to the CS.
Haunganganga. Now they do. Twitch just banned CSGO skin gambling sponsorships. This came out, I think, 2 hours after the second part got released. Now, as well, inside of Twitch terms of service, is sponsorship of skins gambling, such as for CSGO skins, allowed on Twitch? No. Promotion or sponsorship of skins gambling is prohibited under our policy, which is new. They added that yesterday, 2 hours after the release of the documentary. Feels like that this was the reason that it happened. Absolutely ridiculous. But just like how some things are against Steam's terms of service, right? The sites that they cease and desisted that still now are around. We have to see if Twitch actually pulls through with it. With when they banned Stake, for example, right? I think that pretty much they did follow through with it, right? Everybody who was doing that is now switching to Kick. It would probably be the same if they actually pull through with banning people or telling people, hey, you can't have that sponsor on Twitch, that they also will move to Kick, to another site maybe. The problem won't be fully gone. It may be less visible, though, because, of course, all the other options are a lot smaller. All the other streaming platforms. But in general, it W for Twitch if they pull through with it.
CSGO category, so the creators have no repercussions and the platforms won't stop them either, and that's why 80%.
By the way, if you now still see people with a sponsor, it's fine until 1st of September. The TOS comes in effect 1st of September.
Of them are sponsored. And now we get to the audience. They live in different countries and they have different rules, but the general idea is that unregulated sites should be IP blocked and not advertised in this country. But because regulators and laws aren't catching up, yet again, the chain remains intact. And to be fair, because those websites are based in distant islands, there isn't much to do. That's the freedom of internet. Just because something isn't allowed here doesn't mean it shouldn't exist online. As an example, what could Germany do? They hold no power over the websites themselves. However, they could punish creators who promote the websites from Germany, but they don't. And the audience itself got drowned in this. It's normalized and doesn't even recognize the difference between unregulated gambling.
Gambling will always exist. Stop crying and join the hobby. It's fun. Oh my god. Bro, who started this hobby stuff? Was it like, I don't want to be like, oh my god, yeah, I did that. No, was it us? Fuck me, man. Bro, I regret that. Jesus. I actually regret that. You didn't hear me say it a lot as well either recently. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do sometimes now regret having said like some things. Because of course it's, if you open a case in CSGO, it is still absolutely gambling. Yeah. I explained many times why I do it, and why I don't like third-party sites. For me personally, there's a big difference between sponsored gambling, when I do something because I want to do it, investing my own money, knowing the risk, me being able to tell my community, hey, what I'm doing right now, don't do that. Look, I'm losing. I should say that probably even more than I'm saying it right now. Maybe as well, you can remind me every time we do a case opening or whatever. I won't stop opening case. Maybe let's finish the video first, but it's something that I enjoy. I've always done CSGO skins. It's part of that. How do skins get created? By opening a fucking case in CSGO. I don't reckon millions to pay my rent from the viewers by advertising and saying, hey, use my code ohnePixel to open cases. For me, I can sleep at night if I open case with my own money, knowing that, sure, there may be some people who as well, some of you who may open case because I open cases, which is not good, but there will always be an overlap. Is it the same as me advertising a site, third-party case opening site, where it may even be worse when it comes to causing an addiction with things like hooking you in as in levels, right? Where, hey, sign up now for this bonus, hey, free battle here, and then all of a sudden I give a guy in the chat a fucking free battle who then has to wager the $100 if a random 13-year-old from the chat. I think there is a difference. But yeah, at the end of the day, I do it because I want to do it. And as long as I can say, hey, don't do that, just buy the skins instead, if you have the money for it, of course, then I can live with myself for it, and I will continue to do it. Is that selfish? I don't know. It's the content is good, in my opinion. You could say, oh, but it's just opening a case. I don't know. I get excited when I get a gold, of course. Do I have to do it? No, but I like doing it. I don't know what to say. But the 100k opening was a bit weird, because where did the money come from? You don't know. Yes, a lot of people said, oh, but you got that money gifted from a guy who is involved in the gambling space, right? Did I have to do anything? Did the general public know where it came from? No. Did he tell me to, like, hey, you have to advertise this site in order to accept the gift? No. I didn't mention his name or showed his Twitter profile once. And else I wouldn't have accepted that either. We knew also XCC said it, really? For me, there's a big difference. Especially, as I said, the sites, there's a lot of things that I don't agree with, that I know that with Valve, there's nothing like that. Level bonuses, you have a chat where it's like, hey, join my battle, and there's a whole social aspect to it, where they hook you to the site or whatever. You get your daily free bonus. All of a sudden, you stop gambling for a week and they send you a little gift. I've seen a screenshot of that where people receive fucking an $8 gift. Hey, why didn't you play on our website anymore? Trying to hook them back in. There's things like free battles, and then as I said, the people have to wager it. I should probably note down some stuff, bro. I always sit here and a little bit trying to collect all the points together, but a lot of things I don't like about third-party sites, which CSGO doesn't have.
Gambling and legal
back to school event, like some absolutely crazy shit. And of course, a lot of sites as well rig their odds. If you see a TikTok of a guy like all of a sudden getting like a 20k knife or whatever, and then there's people, oh my god, how did you get so lucky? What's the site's name? I don't know, man.
So, no backslash from that side either. In the end, every element of that chain holds the power to either stop or greatly limit this thing, but no one bats an eye, and we are here today. So if you zoom out, you realize that yes, those websites are a problem, but they are just a part of the equation that allows this ecosystem to thrive. And fun fact, it is not just happening in CSGO. I've come to find there is the same situation happening with other games, and I will let you guess the common link. Here's the website to gamble with your skins from Team Fortress 2. Guess whose game is it? Valve. Here's the website to gamble with your Dota 2 skins. Who's behind that game? Valve. And even Rust, which isn't owned by Valve, but it's on their platform, and they benefit from the Steam market sales as well. And you can even log in with Steam. The gambling scene in those games seems a lot less developed than the one in CSGO, but there's always Valve in the middle, who does strictly nothing and once again allows it to exist. How comes this is not considered gambling? Meet Leon Chow. He's a PhD fellow at the IT University of Copenhagen and holds visiting appointments at the Stanford Law School. He specializes in the regulation of loot boxes and gambling as a whole. He's been working closely with many governments like Australia, UK, Netherlands, and he worked with the FTC as well. His work has been published by many medias. Essentially, if there is one person to ask questions about loot boxes, that's him.
The thing is that in most countries, we're actually not sure whether or not this would legally count as gambling. My interpretation of the law would say that actually the loot boxes that you just described in CSGO would in law be gambling in most countries. In terms of how gambling is defined in law, generally there are three elements.
Leon will describe what Michele said already. Gambling is generally defined as consideration, chance, and prize.
The issue is with the third element. This concerns what you can get from these.
Chat, I had a thorough shot today. Are Pokemon cards, for example, as well gambling? If people open like a pack or whatever, or like a $10,000 one of those old boxes, yes, because then as well it's like, I don't know. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, but what about that? But for example, if I would be as well a fucking, let's say, Pokemon YouTuber and I fucking open a $10,000 box, I would be as well doing that. That's part of it. I open CSGO cases in the game. That's how the skins get created. That's where I started. That's what people want to see. Of course, it's not to the same extent with fucking getting baited, and it's a lot easier than going to a store and buying a box. But like, to maybe put another perspective on it. I don't know.
CSGO case were from
gambling is everywhere, and there's some that I agree less with, and some that I agree more with. The sites I don't like at all. In game, I can somehow justify for myself. Yeah, just to clear it up.
Any particular loot box. In most video games, what you can get stays on your user account. you can't transfer it to anyone else. And this is why in most countries that is viewed as those things not having real world monetary value. But of course, with CSGO, it is possible to transfer what you have obtained from your CSGO cases to another player. You can cash it out as well through third-party websites. And so in my opinion, because you can do those transferring things, that also satisfies the third element. It depends on which country you're looking at. Because I know that in Finland, the regulator who is in charge of looking at gambling, they've expressed the view that it does not matter whether Valve or CSGO says you can or cannot cash out. As long as it is true and possible that you can cash out, then that element is satisfied. In my view, under English law, and in fact under the gambling laws.
Is that why they're against third-party marketplaces? Like in their TOS? So they can say, hey, but we forbid sites that let you cash out, that let them have real money value.
Of quite a few European countries, this should count as gambling.
So, CSGO has a loot box that satisfies every element to be classed as gambling in the eyes of the law. Now, what about the mechanics of that loot box? In your opinion, and talking about the loot boxes in-game that I just showed you, do you believe we should let the young ones have access to this feature?
Clearly, that loot box you show me right now match with many aspects with classic slot machine device. So no, young people should not have access to those things.
And now what? We've established that the CSGO cases are a problem and they are in fact gambling both morally and legally. Yet, it is accessible and promoted to everyone. How much longer will we ignore the reality? It is true that the design of the CSGO loot boxes is not as predatory as the average unregulated gambling site. But the question we need to answer is this one. Is it gambling nonetheless? Yes or no? If it actually is, then why do we allow it to exist without regulation, age check or players protection? Say that I'm watching a streamer opening CSGO cases. Eventually he's gonna get lucky. He's gonna be shouty, he's gonna be excited, eventually jumping around, and he says he just won 10,000 euros. That looks cool, he's excited, the chat is excited, and everyone looks happy and excited. And I want that for myself. So eventually, if I get my hands on cash, I will be able to buy a Steam gift card in a physical store and redeem it to open cases in CSGO. That's what you are looking at right now. I am opening cases on my new Steam account called I'm14 by the way, and this account played a whopping total of 0 hours of Counter-Strike. Something I didn't mention so far is how you receive these loot boxes. Unlike other games where you simply buy and open loot boxes from the menus, in CSGO you drop 1 or 2 cases per week. So you play a game and at the end of it you are rewarded by a drop, a CSGO case. And because the loot box itself has value in the Steam economy, you might look at it as an opportunity to open it for a discount, because you don't have to pay for the price of the case itself, just the key now. Valve is rewarding you for playing the game with an opportunity to open the case for a discounted price. Couple that with the prestige and the hype around CSGO skins themselves, and you have the perfect mix for a normalization of gambling behavior. And it's far from affecting only the young ones. I would love it if you could take a minute of your time to comment below how much you have spent on Steam. I will put a link below to show you how to check, and
A lot of people say sell it right now. I want to make a poll. I'm actually excited, interested in this. If you get case drop, I open, I sell. And then of course, like if there's if you get a Bravo case, okay, I mean we take that out, huh? Because who the fuck, I never got a Bravo case or anything crazy of that. Keep as investment. Keep is same as sell. Just put sell if you don't plan on opening. Interesting.
Sure, plenty of you will be surprised. I know that case openings are deeply ingrained within the culture of Counter-Strike, and attacking them is not an easy thing to do. As a matter of fact, as I'm recording this, we have 300k viewers watching a guy spending $100,000 on CSGO case openings. Not gambling website, CSGO case openings. And there's a lot of watch parties of his stream like it's an actual tournament. Look at the CSGO
Bro. Oh, Jesus.
Category. Gambling is so relevant to CSGO, it's crazy to realize. And this is why I brought these experts so they can explain it to you. You might flag me as an anti-gambling guy, which isn't really true. All I'm saying here is that, as it is right now, gambling is way too relevant in CSGO, and since we have the same mechanics as an online slot, it shouldn't be accessible and promoted the way it is right now. If Valve was registered as a casino or an online trading website, they would be just as unregulated as the gambling websites we talked about earlier. Think about it, they don't even show you the odds of what you are unboxing.
$20,000 one click. Fuck!
Yes!
I swear it!
Bring it back! Bring it back, Titan Hollow, Titan Hollow! You have to be joking!
There was a $20,000 capsule. This sticker is worth? It's $350.
Right there, he opened a capsule sold for $20,000. And it's in the game, this wasn't happening on a third-party website. And by being so easily accessible, CSGO cases have become a huge gateway to get a taste of the excitement that gambling has to offer. And eventually, you transition from CSGO cases to CSGO gambling websites, and eventually online casinos. These cases have become the biggest factor in the normalization of gambling that is happening around CSGO, and we need to address that. That's all I'm saying.
I get.
Jesus.
To the question how old were you when you first gambled, out of 9,000 responses, 70.8% of you were underage. You know, I have an opinion on how I feel about that, and you probably have one as well, but I wanted to hear from someone qualified, and this is why I reached out to Tom.
So I'm Tom, I'm the communications manager at a charity called Gambling with Lives.
Gambling with Lives is a UK-based charity campaigning for a change of laws in the UK, but not only that.
Another side of the work is that we support families that have been bereaved by gambling-related suicide. So the charity was actually set up by a mum and a dad who lost their son, who actually also started gambling when he was a schoolboy. The young chap who was talking about blaming himself for not being able to stop and otherwise being a very rational person. He knew it was bad for him, but he couldn't stop it, and that made him feel bad. That's actually one of the big driving causes of the suicide. It's not all about the money. Money often does play a factor in the suicides, but it's not. It's far from being all about that. In fact, of the families that we support, a lot of the people that they've lost didn't lose significant amounts of money, but gambling had actually destroyed their mental health, and they felt a complete loss of agency. Is that we can't stop, and they see the sort of messages, the messaging that's sort of put out that accompanies gambling in the UK is things like when the fun stops, stop, and gamble responsibly, and these kind of messages that make it sound like it's just really easy, it's a harmless hobby. Actually then, when you do get addicted, you try and stop and you find that you can't stop. You've got all these messages saying, oh yeah, just stop. Then you begin to really feel a sense of deep shame, and there's a lot of stigma attached to that. It's a diagnosable mental health condition, and it does actually require specialist treatment. It's been classified for 10 years now, since 2013.
I have interviewed around 25 people, and I showed some of these interviews to Tom. And almost everyone I talked to expressed this idea, this kind of shame to opening up about this, because they would blame themselves for a lack of control. Let me ask you to make sure I understood that right. All the money that you are talking about, you have lost it. Where did you lose it?
Actually, it's about 50-50 cases and gambling sites. For me personally, whenever it came to gambling, I was always making these decisions in a split second. Like, it was a case of I would watch someone gamble, and in my head I'd go, oh, yeah, that site exists. Oh, I could open 20 cases. You know, so $50, $70, whatever, you know, go open some cases. And again, like I had mentioned, I relapsed yesterday. It was that split second in my head, I was like, surely I'll get something, right? Surely I'm lucky. I'll be the one. Case. When you're having an argument with someone, right, things can get heated, you respond emotionally, and in situations like that, I'm always able to take a step back and go, hold on a second, let me take a minute, assess everything, and then make a decision. But for some reason with gambling, it's just not the case. It's boom, instant. I have a really hard time admitting it even to myself that I have a problem. And the fact that I've been able to talk today as much as I have about it is surprising to myself, because I have a hard time even admitting it to myself that I have a problem. I really want to change, and I really want to get better so I can go fly airplanes. You know, I could have been. I could have already been finished probably at this point. And I still just, yeah, it definitely is taboo in my opinion. The idea of gambling, and, you know, it's okay if you win at gambling, but the second you lose everything or it becomes a problem, that's where, you know, it's kind of like alcoholism, right? You know, it's okay to have a few beers, but the second you say, yeah, I'm an alcoholic, well, now you've got mental problems and you've got, you know, this stigma attached. I think it's in that same vein.
I'm not a victim. Man, wallah, I never knew this thing was gonna come, bro.
This is Slicker. He used to be a popular Twitch streamer, and it all stopped one day as he got exposed for borrowing money from other streamers and viewers to feed his gambling addiction. When everything exploded, he went live, and this is what happened.
I didn't know what to do. I lied to many people. I would never be able to ask for forgiveness. I'm ill. Well, I need to say it. It's so hard to say this, I'm not gonna lie. Ever since CSGO, not to blame, but ever since CSGO came out, it was the first time I went on that site, and it was a fun place to be on. You know, gamble skins and stuff. Eventually I found out you could gamble with money.
As many people, it started with CSGO and then transitioned.
I'd scratch myself. Sometimes I'd lose. I'd smash my head against the wall. My intentions were never to scam anyone. I wanted to pay people bit by bit. And sadly, when I would owe this person, I would owe the other person extra on top. And then that person would message me and be like, hey, where's my money? I send that money, then the other person would be like, where's my money? I have to owe him. Then I ask someone else, hey, can you give me 500? I'll give you extra. Gamble that money on top. I have borrowed. In a month, I had to pay 50,000. In a month, I would have to pay someone 50,000. And I would have to, even to some of my real friends who...
Bro, these donations, Jesus. Bro, the Slicker, I think he asked me as well, by the way. I wasn't even aware, like, I didn't see the DM, but he asked as well, like, or he was saying, like, something like, hey. Let me see if I can find that. And it's a lot of my homies as well had borrowed money to him that then they... how ended the whole story? XQC, I think, paid it back or something.
Was investing in a house. I need to get help. I don't know how. I always wished I could get help from it.
But bro, like, I don't want to be that guy, but going around like all your friends and like scamming them out of money, and some stories, right, which she was aware of as well. Like, wasn't there one person who had borrowed him money or lent him money? I don't know. I always get confused. Who had like a very like was it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Cancer patient, or and he like tried to squeeze out always more. Like, there has to be something more wrong as well than just a. I don't want to say like, no, I don't want to say just, but there has to be something more wrong than a gambling addiction, or misgift donation. What? I'm gonna make a fortune out of this drama. Jesus.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not entirely taking away the personal
No. Okay.
responsibility, but this is a very clear case of a gambling addiction, that men lost control, and trying to reason with an addiction is just like trying to reason with a phobia. Internet did not receive this well, and the line between memes and harassment...
Are you sure, bro? Because he seemed to as well, like, I don't want to be that guy, but to have not a lot of remorse. Like, now he's streaming on Kick like nothing happened. Or, do you know what I mean? Like, some responses after the whole thing happened, he was like, oh yeah, it seemed, I don't know.
got really blurred. Look at the donations that are happening while he is live. Now look, if this is hard to watch, good, it is time we face this reality. We can't allow unregulated gambling to keep on going like this. The YouTubers and streamers who are making bank from people like Slicker keep on pushing one and only one narrative. That is the self-responsibility. It is your fault and only your fault. Alright, but then explain why legal and regulated casinos have to filter their player base. Explain why valid licenses come with 50 pages in how you need to analyze the betting patterns and the behavior of your players, and make sure that they can afford afford to lose the money they gamble. The casino is responsible for the product it sells. Do you think that would have happened on a regulated casino? Of course not. So why do we allow unregulated ones to thrive online, welcome everyone in, and then act surprised of the consequences?
There are also identified risk factors for developing gambling disorder in adulthood. For example, certain personality traits. Some people are more impulsive, so are more prone to loss of control of our behaviors, to seek for excitement, sensation seeking, and those kind of individual differences increase risk of developing problematic gambling patterns, for example. Psychopathological factors, for example, if you are depressed, if you have a trauma, if you experience even a moment in your life where you are not happy or you have a bad mood, it also increases the risk that you get involved in gambling as a way to regulate your mood, to cope with your situation, in the end translate
one death equals one case. Aware.
Into the development and the perpetuation of problematic gambling habits or gambling disorder. And here you can make a parallel with alcohol use disorder, for example. A lot of people are depressed, start to drink to cope, to avoid thinking, as a way of self-medicate themselves, and they developed an alcohol use addiction.
I would say that no form of gambling is risk-free, but there are some forms of gambling that carry way less risks. If you move towards the really addictive end are things like actually online casino games and online slot games. These are far more likely to cause addiction. Online slot games I'm talking about here, they have addiction and at-risk rates of 45%, which is around about heroin's addiction and at-risk rate. So they're really...
Can you explain the risk rate? How does that work? Is that 45% of the people who play it enough are at risk?
Yeah, they're at serious risk of addiction or will become addicted. That's 45%. You know, staggering.
Horse racing at risk. Total percentage. Machines and bookmakers. Bingo. Online gambling. 45.
So it's really staggering because you can play them anytime you want. You can play them 4 o'clock in the morning. The sounds that they make, like they're all designed to keep you playing essentially and give you a little sort of rush of dopamine, but not so much that you leave. But they just kind of keep you hooked, and they might give you sort of near misses, for example. They're designed basically to be addictive is the bottom line. And actually, young men are at increased risk of getting addicted to gambling. If you're in your early 20s, you've probably got quite a high disposable income, more drawn to sort of risk-taking behavior, and your brain actually isn't fully developed until you're 25, so you're more drawn to doing things which is risky. So yeah, young men are particularly targeted essentially by the industry, and they do that in the UK via football. It's the most popular sport in the country, and especially with young men. So how do you tie them together? You just make gambling and football sort of the same thing, and that gets you access to a huge audience, absolutely huge audience. If you're looking at where that money comes from, I'm talking about online gambling specifically, 86% of that profit comes from 5% of players. These games, they're not addictive by accident. Is what I'm trying to get at. The products are they're designed to be addictive, and addiction is the sort of the foundation of their business model.
I want to take a second to explain that one. I have read a study after the call, and I think that this is the stat you need to remember. It shows that for regulated casinos in the UK, 86% of the revenue comes from 5% of the players. And that is in the case of regulated casinos, the ones that have to respect standards, licenses, and filter their player base. Now, can you try to imagine what that number would be like in the case of unregulated CSGO websites that will allow anyone in? And what about those 100 million per month, Valve? How does it taste like? I guess money really has no smell. When you take a paycheck from these websites, this is where the money comes from.
I want to do better. I want to not have to, I don't want to be thinking every 5 minutes, ooh, on my next paycheck, what kind of knife can I go get on a gambling site? What can I go open? How many cases? How many this, that, and the other thing? I want better. I do. I genuinely hope that you're able to enact some change for the better when it comes to the CSGO scene, because it desperately needs it. Desperately.
Bit of a misunderstanding, really, about gambling addiction. Actually, what it does is addiction, it rewires the pleasure-seeking centers of your brain, essentially. So you need to do that to feel good. So if you don't do it, you just feel awful. So you end up doing it, and it yeah, the younger you are, when you get sort of exposed to dangerous gambling products and start gambling, more likely you are to be harmed by them, essentially. Even if you're just sort of figuratively dipping your toe into it as a child, the effect of that normalization is when you do become old enough, you just think it's completely normal.
The case of Garrett was instrumental for me to understand the face of a gambling disorder. We see so many memes about it and we tend to forget there's a reality behind. Now of course, not everyone who gambles will develop an addiction, just like drinking a beer doesn't make you an alcoholic. That being said, you will agree on saying that if you started drinking at 12 and if everyone around you would be drinking as well, you will have a lot more chances to develop a problem growing up. That is the effect of normalization. It is important to understand that gambling is a broad term, and within gambling, you will find different products, some of which will be a lot more addictive than others, and on top of that list, we find online slots, which is exactly what these websites are offering, and how CSGO cases are designed. The whole player base of CSGO is constantly bombarded with online slots to a point it's normalized. We cheer for an online slots in an arena. Try to think of how cool this is going to look in the eyes of the young ones.
There's also academic evidence that links the use of loot boxes as a child to gambling addiction as an adult, because it really blurs the line.
Oh, I wonder if you asked him.
Back to Garrett. We were talking about how much he had lost, and as he didn't know we can actually see how much has been spent on Steam, it was a surprise for him.
Said on I've lost approximately 7,500, and on CSGO I have holy shit. 14,600.
Okay.
So in total, $21,000.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Is this the first time you see this number then?
Yeah. It's the first time I've gone through and looked. Jesus Christ, looking at that scares me. That scares me that I've managed to go through $20,000 like that and not realize how much money I've spent. So bad. It's so.
I saw as well, Haungaganga made a tweet where people sent them there, like this picture right here, you know, of how much you spent on Steam. Where is it, bro? Receiving some crazy screenshots. You don't see that every day. 80,000. Now look at this. Martin RGB, 300,000, but he's a content creator, and he always opens on stream. Thousands and thousands. Okay, $200. I think Montana Blacks was like 100,000 as well. Show yours. Mine is at like what was it when I last checked? I did a video on it. What was it? I can check right now. Badges, or? We check the updated version. And then we go, I think, the last page, CSGO. Right here. How do I earn card drops? 56,000. But back in the day, I bought cases on like websites, you know? So it's like more than that, I guess. If I bought like a Bravo case on a marketplace, because I didn't buy them on Steam. Like, this is all the keys money, yes, but cases bought outside. That's it, bro. What do you mean?
So bad, you know. So I think sorry, but you know, just the simple act of taking the time out of your day to talk to me today has really shed some new light on things for me personally, and I've already taken quite a bit away from this, and I know that it's time for a change. I know that it's time, and I think you've kind of helped me to get to that point. And again, thank you so much for even taking the hour or so to talk to me today. I seriously can't thank you enough for helping me to just explore this.
I am way too emotive for that. I am way too emotive for this. I'm gonna cry if you go down that road. I'm way too emotive.
It's okay. I was about to earlier, but I was able to power through here. So, you know,
I'm gonna have to voice over to explain what happened, otherwise I will leak personal details. He wanted to take the first step and self-exclude himself from the website he has been using to gamble. And you're about to see yet another reason of why unregulated casinos are a problem.
Going to. It's exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, so they have Under here, it's this deposit restriction or full account restriction.
Take a break.
Temporary block. Oh, so it looks like you can only lock it for up to a week. Do you have has anyone told you any tips or given you any ideas as to how to combat that?
Currently, there isn't any option for you to prevent yourself and self-exclude yourself from opening cases ever again. And in the case of unregulated CSGO websites, as you might have guessed, it's a jungle. Some do, but they will ask you a confirmation 24 hours later after you've asked for it. Some will only offer you 1 week, and some don't even have that option. And I mean, why would they?
What? Is there self-exclusion? Bro, stuff that it recommends. Why is crash disabled? Pending deposit? What is crazy mode? Jesus.
It. Some will only offer you 1 week, and some don't even have
self-exclusion for what? CSGO role, it's a CSGO skins trading site, no? Why would you, I mean, I guess self-exclusion from trading? Can you get addicted to trading?
Have that option. And I mean, why would they, right? It's way too lucrative for them to let you go away like that. Look, I am 14, by the way, reaches out to your support and says, is there a self-exclusion feature? To which we reply, hello, we do not have that. Okay, I understand. And you're like, have a nice day, and a heart. What I'm trying to get you to understand is that if we were in a legal and regulated environment, it's very likely the operator would have identified and stopped Garrett from going any further until he proves he actually has the means to deposit like he does, and he's not chasing his losses. On top of that, Garrett could register his ID on the registry, and from here will never be allowed to access any kind of legal casino, whether it be inland or online. This is not an option for CSGO cases, and it's not even an option for most of these CSGO trading websites. They went and asked if there's a self-exclusion feature. They go, hello, hello.
Chat, I wonder, self-exclusion feature, absolutely amazing. But I do wonder if you're truly addicted to gambling, you will always find a way as well, no? I remember, like, this is the stupidest example, and I don't mean like any but like I, for example, I was once, okay, you're gonna say now like, oh my god, how is he comparing those two? But just as an example, as a wide example, because I was at one point like very addicted to some games, and then I always uninstalled the games, so I would be kind of like lock myself out, and it's annoying as fuck to reinstall. But I always the next morning saw myself reinstalling the game for like 4 hours when I had slow internet. And of course, that's nothing compared to a gambling addiction. So if you are truly gambling addicted, if you like those self-exclusions, you will always find a way aside VPN or something, no? It absolutely helps. Yeah. Okay. I am. It is. Okay, good. You're talking from your ass. Alles klar. Might suppress an impulse though. Yeah.
Items are sold automatically after a month, and they close the support? What? And mind you, I'm still reaching them from an account called I am 14, by the way. And this one says, hello, we don't understand you.
Message was deleted. Typed something else before.
This is surreal. And I am convinced that if that button would exist at this moment, he would have pressed it. The example could not have been more specific. It is right here, right now. You can see it on his face. He would have pressed the button. And this is why a change needs to happen. Garrett, if you had a button right now.
Wait, Artem? What do you mean Artem? Oh my.
And I am.
Is that CSGO Empire? Bro, they're trolling him, no? The Artem, it's like the guy who keeps memeing on Twitter.
And this one says, hello, we don't understand you. This is surreal. And I am convinced
Not
that if
Empire, I thought
that button would exist at this moment, he would have pressed it. The example could not have been more specific. It is right here, right now. You can see it on his face. He would have pressed the button. And this is why a change needs to happen. Garrett, if you had a button right now in CSGO to exclude you from opening cases, that your account would be voluntarily excluded from opening cases, would you press it?
Absolutely, in a heartbeat. Cases are the exact reason I'm in this situation. Yeah, sorry, I guess I should rephrase. They're not the reason. I am the reason I'm in this situation. But they were they were the kind of the catalyst that got me to where I'm at now. They were kind of the I'll use the term gateway drug, loosely here, but I didn't go to a CSGO gambling site before opening cases. I didn't go to a, crypto casino or anything like that. It was the cases, and then came the casinos, then came and I think I'm able to make that change. I'm gonna make this promise to myself right now that I am going to stay away from gambling in all forms, way, shapes, and forms, regardless.
Now look, I know this won't concern the majority of you, so I'll make it quick. If you relate to Garrett or anyone else talking in this video, there is help and there are tools to help you. There's 2 things I want you to consider. Number 1, chapter1.org, a completely free website, don't forget the dash by the way, that will give you a ton of resources and readings to help yourself or a friend. Number 2, Gamban. Gamban is a software you can install on your PC and on your phone. It will block every regulated and unregulated website. I got in touch with Matt, the CEO, and sent him the list of CSGO websites which are now blocked as well. On top of that, because Gamban is subscription based, I've already paid myself for the next 500 subscriptions.
Hey.
So this is for anyone watching right now.
What a guy, how Jesus.
Now, you don't have to pay, you don't have to put your credit card or anything, we have made it very easy. If you want to help yourself and don't know how, go to excludenow.com/Jeff, which will take you to a landing page.
Why it costs money? Do you think there may be some aspect to that why it's better if it costs? Because then it's oh, I'm paying for this and now I'm wasting the money if I'm not using it or something. I don't know. It's kind of like a gym if you don't go to it. I don't know.
Giving you 3 months for free with no strings.
It seems kind of crazy if it's a paid service, but as well they gotta make their money somehow. But I think there may be some other aspect to it.
Attached. Obviously, this is not a paid promotion. I'm not getting any cents back. In fact, I've already paid, so it has to be used anyway. So please do not hesitate. I would be very happy to help you take the first step. Can we actually change? I want you to remember this. The CSGO industry is complicit at every level. There is so much money involved for the one partaking that the change cannot come from within. Last week, as I released the part 1, it was such a dystopian sight to witness. I've got to see streamers reacting to it live while still promoting the very websites I am attacking. And one of them even said that he just got paid, and while agreeing the timing is bad, went on to spend the sponsor balance on stream on the unregulated website that is paying him. I haven't seen anything public from the casters, the pros, or maybe 95% of the big names in the scene, yet my DMs are pretty active, filled with some of these people telling me it's a good video, it's an important subject, and they are happy I am doing it. But that's not something they will come out and say in public, because they don't want to stop taking that money.
Bro, what are all these
regardless.
fucking community channels, man? Bro, jeez, 5 different uploads.
And now it's even worse, because I showed them how bad it is, but they still choose to not care. I showed you it's illegal, I showed you it's immoral, I showed you the consequences and the damages. If nothing changes anyway, that means it was a fight I was never meant to win. Think of how fucked it is, the length I went to, the risk I'm taking. You know, I'm attacking a very illegal and very profitable thing. Some people might not be happy about it, so let's just say I make sure that my door is locked every night, and the rest is left to hope. And the responses I'm getting is that the industry agrees with me, but that doesn't mean they will stop. This industry will not stop unless it is forced to. Do you think we can rely on ethic and common sense? Well, look where that got us. And it's the same for Valve. There is simple stuff they could implement. For example, if you spend more than, I don't know, say 50 euro in loot boxes, they could trigger a KYC process, verify who you are and if you are of age. The average price of providers in that field is within 1 to 2 euro per verification. Considering the money that Valve is making, I don't think it's gonna be a problem of price. Also, we need an easy to find self-exclusion button. For the ones that notice they have a problem and want to try and fix it, at least give them the tools so they can help themselves. There is so much that you could do to at least pretend that you are trying to mitigate the damages of what you're doing. But again, no one cares. I shouldn't be the one.
Good points. These aren't ideal solutions, but rather a step in the right direction. Enforce KYC after $50 spent. Restrict new accounts from opening CSGO cases. Trigger a source of wealth verification. Show the odds of the cases. Yeah. Restrict login to third-party sites for accounts that don't meet the KYC requirements. That would be true. They can do that. I never really thought about that. Display how much has been spent by the user in cases. Enable a ratchet system. True, that as well, I guess. Because, like, for example, I forgot his name, but the flight pilot said as well, right? How aware he was when he saw how much he actually spent. Oh shit, where was I? No. There we go. Enable a ratchet system preventing to spend more than X dollar amount of week. Yeah, which already is there, but you can't change it. Which would be removed if KYC is completed.
So much that you could do to at least pretend that you are trying to mitigate the damages of what you're doing. But again, no one cares. I shouldn't be the one coming up with those ideas and fighting that fight. I am just using common sense to be where I'm at right now, and I hope this will spark the discussion on a bigger scale about the monetization system of loot boxes in video games, especially when cashing out the item is a central element. And because I know some streamers will react in bad faith, I want to add that I am not attacking the concept of gambling as a whole. I am attacking the unregulated form of gambling used and promoted in the worst way. I want to point out that there's a huge difference between those two things, even though they relate to the same subject. And the ones with money involved have tried to blur that difference and keep those two things together. I'm not trying to remove your freedom to bet on the matches you watch. What I'm showing here is that in the current state of things, CSGO is heavily pushing its players and its audience directly into slot machines and casino games, and it's really not the same thing. Please make the distinction. I see nothing wrong with betting every now and then, however, betting can also be a problem, which is why regulations are important. We are at the point where the CSGO Twitter account, or the X account, can't even retweet highlights from streamers without showing third-party gambling sites that are hosting casino games, not even betting. And like I showed you, anyone can access them just like anyone can open CSGO cases. Allow me to talk freely. I kinda wanna talk about myself now. After 10 years of, doing this, I have recently announced that I will finally start to accept, or at least consider to accept, offers coming from CSGO gambling websites. But when I said that, I had no idea that things would be that bad. I've just assumed, like probably you and many more people, that if they are still existing today...
Ad? Oh, I'll wait. Sorry, it auto-runs it. Yeah. Are we done? Chat is not some dumb shit today. Yeah, everyone is just discussing. No, there's a lot of different opinions. I think it's okay. 73 ads, bro. Stop trolling. Nah. We ready? Vamos.
If they are working with so many entities in the scene, that it would be within some kind of regulation. Obviously, I had no idea what I just stepped into. Within a matter of few weeks, the biggest offer I have received was €120,000 per month in exchange of 8 ads. So the deal was that, in 8 of my videos during the month, I would put a 30-second segment to promote one of these CSGO websites. €500 per second. So stay right there if you don't mind. Oh, I used to be sad, but then I've discovered baguettes. I would have made €3,000 already. Let that sink in. It is so much money, it makes you lose respect for it. Now, I'm not gonna lie, there was a real temptation to not look any deeper, just take the money as it is, and that's about it, right? Like, what if I just close my eyes for once, Like, what if for once I shut the fuck up, I don't look any deeper, I'll just shut my mouth and take the deal as it is, right? I would have been set for life, essentially. We're talking about 120k per month, right?
€120,000 per month.
Are you kidding me? Okay, hold on. Okay, 700,000 subscribers. Okay, maybe I just need to put this in context. For us, at 14 million subscribers or whatever we're up to now, a sponsorship deal of €120,000 a month would be huge.
Massive.
That would make that sponsor over the span of
Bro, I hate this because I try to avoid all the fucking number shit. Because then, because I don't want to be that guy, but as well, if a site would sponsor the stream monthly, just the stream, it would be above $1 million. It would be above $1 million. And then I sometimes, when I hear people like this saying, how much, and I know how I could take it and then not do anything anymore, basically, makes you think as well, For what, you know? But I don't know. If the problem remains like anyways, and then there's people always telling me like, oh yeah, but double-sided, yeah, but you open cases in game, and it's basically like you would already promote gambling, and then I take the double L, you know? I don't take it, and I still get called, oh, but you're two-sided, like you're promoting gambling anyways. Even though to me it's two very completely different things. If I spend my own money instead of getting paid a mil to chill a code or provide some free battles to my audience, and get them to gamble, so I get a scratch of their losses.
Year, one of our largest sponsors, if not our largest sponsor by dollars. Like, that is enormous. Hang Ang Ganye, sorry, is not running a live convention or an expo. Like, this is purely for online content. So if we were to take someone sponsoring just our content at that kind of a rate, they would be one of, if not our biggest sponsor at our size. That is wild.
I could find a ton of reasons to justify it to myself, right? Because I deserve it, I've been fighting it for 10 years, and after all, nothing changes, so why don't I just take the easy exit? You know, I would be able to help my family, money is never gonna be an issue, I could look at my girlfriend in the eyes and tell her, money will never be an issue for the rest of our lives. And I could even buy YouTube Premium if I wanted to. This temptation is something that every CSGO creator had to go through at some point. And okay, maybe not all of you, because some of you are actual pieces of poop, and, you know, don't think it was a long struggle for you. Now, what I don't understand is why on...
I remember, like, when I was going through, because at one point you take a stance, right? And my stance is that I don't like third-party case opening sites, never did. And, like, I was going through that phase as well, where I was considering, yo, do I do it, do I not do it? And I remember having like calls with Zippel, with Jesus, with of course Avro, and we were like, I was going through everything, and I don't know, just discussing as well, just to hear some other sides, right? Because it is ridiculous amounts of money, and as a streamer, you never know. Oh yeah, right now I may have some viewers, but how is it gonna be in a year from now? You know, you never know if that money that could be like taken right now, it may never come if I stream for years and years. Like, it will never come, of course not. But Loba opened car dealership? What do you mean?
On Earth am I the only one who talks about that, right? Like, from my own bedroom and with literally zero experience. I'm not a journalist, I'm just a guy who makes 360 no-scopes, funny montages, video kind of stuff. How the hell am I able to show you how fucked the situation is from my own bedroom and with my very limited resources? Where are the journalists? Where's the media coverage about that? What the hell is going on? Why is no one talking about that? Is beyond my understanding. During my research, I have spent a lot of time and energy trying to get a comment or an appearance from a gambling commission. And I think one of them knew me as well, because they replied with, "Hey Jeff."
Because no one cares, that's why. Yeah, that's as well, that makes it so tilting sometimes. Because for what do you decline the offers then? For yourself, yes, but it feels like that nobody really gives a fuck. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's always the two things. I don't know. I do it, bro. At the end of the day, nobody fucking cares. Everybody has a sponsor. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody fucking cares. It is completely normalized. If you do it for, like, at least that's why I do it. Mostly for myself, because then I can go to bed and don't have to think about the DMs that are coming in, like, yo, the person, for example. Now, of course, as well, I have a different look maybe as well on CSGO in-game cases. Hearing that, for example, he started with it and spent even more on CSGO cases, makes you think for sure. But I should probably do it much more. I'm not getting paid to fucking open cases. I don't have to fucking bring anyone to open cases. We should probably, or like I on my stream, should say even more, don't open cases. At the end of the day, there will still be some people doing it, of course. But, yeah, I don't know, bro.
Jeff, we politely decline to comment. Some countries are fighting this, or so it seems. The one that seems to do the best right now is Denmark. Although it is not blocking every website, if you compare it to France, it really feels like an effort is being made. The Danish Gambling Commission, or the Spillemyndigheden, published a 2022 report in which they identified logging with Steam as an issue.
You should completely stop opening cases. I'm gonna be honest, no. No, I'm sorry, I love CSGO cases. I think there is a way to do it as content where you can somewhat like lower the I don't know, like make your stance right every single time you do it. But it's where it's what I live for, CSGO skins. It's and this is the part of it. I don't know. This is where the skins get created. If I spend money on CSGO, all the money goes to the people that gave me everything. That as well as something why I think for me at least I see a difference in if do I open a case here or there. At the end of the day, it goes to skins creators who created the skin and to Valve. Else I wouldn't be sitting here right now. Is it good what they're doing? Our case is good. No, it's still gambling, but for me, I can justify it for myself. I don't know.
Issue, and they have blocked a few websites in that regard. So the question that remains is why not every website? And the response from the UK Gambling Commission might give us a clue.
But the ideas that he, for example, brought up would be amazing. Like some, if not all of the points, of course.
We are also aware that some websites have used these skins as
I enjoy it, but I still there's of course still a big problem with it. Yeah.
As a currency for illegal gambling. However, not all things that appear to be gambling fall under our regulation, including those style games that allow the purchase of skins which are classed as loot boxes. For these style games to be classed as gaming under the Gambling Act, there would need to be a change to primary legislation. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that they are telling me that they are aware.
Would you still open case if skins had no monetary value? Absolutely. Yes, I said I'm not intrigued by something like a slot machine. I remember hunting down Devil Teemo skin in League of Legends, opening fucking boxes left and right. Digital items, I love rare shit. I don't know if I'm stupidly special in that regard, but and I can't sell the Devil Teemo skin, you know. I don't know.
Of the issue, but they cannot act on it based on the.
But of course, in CSGO, it is a part of it. Yes.
Limitation of the Gambling Act that regulates.
Like, I'm of course more happier for a $1,000 knife than a boxing $100 knife, of course.
Scope of their action. This might be the clue for many more countries, and this is why the change can only come from you. And I mean, we need to make some noise. We need to ping medias, authorities, politicians, whatever. This needs to make the headlines to push for a change. Because right now, if a gambling commission, which is supposed to be here to prevent those websites from existing and doing what they're doing right now, tells me that they cannot act on it based on outdated laws, no wonder the websites don't even know what KYC is. And I want to point out that in the Counter-Strike world, it feels like no one is taking responsibility because the audience has been brainwashed for years, to a point where some of you
Did you get the Teemo skin though? No. You get rate limited as well in League of Legends. I think after 2 max deposits, I couldn't open anymore. Bro, I'm not even kidding.
Are actually begging me to take the money, you know, like, go on, Jeff, we won't be mad at you, you deserve it, and that kind of stuff. I mean, I kind of appreciate that, but also I don't, you know, hold me responsible, please. We have to break that cycle. I need you to understand that the argument of saying that they offer too much money to refuse leads to nowhere. It is such a broken logic, but it is used so often. Why do you think Valve remains quiet about this and keeps their loot boxes as they are? Yeah, well, too much money to refuse. So what, now we can't be mad at Valve? Why do the creators take the deals? Well, too much money to refuse, so I guess we can't be mad at them either. And that's why the websites exist, by the way. There is money to be made, and guess what? It is too much money to refuse. So with your logic, you can't be mad at anyone, because you're essentially saying that it's okay to do illegal and immoral stuff if the amount of money you get in exchange is worth it. So where do we go with that logic? Anything for the bag? Counter-Strike, please wake up! Do I want money? Yes, of course, but is this the kind of money that I want? There's a lot of stuff I know, because, you know, I'm pretty much a dinosaur at this point. I've been around for 10 years, I know a lot of stuff. But I've decided not to go public with it, because then it would probably turn into a witch hunt, which is not what I'm trying to do. I want to act for a change, I don't want to act for views. Yeah, I'm gonna get some views if I start some drama, but again, if I wanted views, I would have uploaded videos in the past 2 months, and if I wanted money, I would have taken the deals. I have committed to this because I truly believe we need to change. It is time for a change. If we look back a couple of years ago, I believe we would be shocked to find so many ads and promotions for cigarettes everywhere. And I think that 50 years from now, when we will look back on today, we will have the same effect, but for gambling and how gambling is advertised everywhere.
Chad, I need to take a piss. And so you stay around, I will do it before the video ends. Give me 1 second. Actually, just 1 second. Quick little piss, baby. What's wrong with this guy? Is he promoting smoking now as well? Bro, shut up.
In Counter-Strike world, we are even talking about unregulated gambling, which is a lot worse. So that's it, that is 4 months of my life. I have paused everything else I had ongoing to get here today. And if I look like shit, it's because I feel like one. It's an incredibly toxic environment. I'm not gonna make friends, I'm gonna burn a lot of bridges, and I expect some kind of hate, maybe backslash, coming from the CSGO gambling community. So please, let me prefire that. If online gambling was just as regulated as physical casinos, we wouldn't be here today. CSGO cases, gambling websites, and crypto casinos based in distant islands. You are bypassing the ethical forms of limitations you have to respect, which are called regulations. You are bypassing those regulations, and this is where I have a problem. Believe it or not, but I am okay with the idea of gambling if it is done the right way. A way where you have the necessary and mandatory licenses that forces you to filter and protect the player base against the product you are selling them. A way where you are not advertised and endorsed by role models in the most irresponsible way, and in total disregard of the laws that exist to, again, protect the player base. Down the line, I don't think a reasonable human being can watch the entire documentary and tell me that, you know what, no, never mind, everything is alright, we don't need to change anything. That being said, I am not asking for views, for credit or anything. The only thing I will ask is for this to make some noise, so help me get some streamers to watch this live. Big ones, small ones, you have my full permission to use this video the way you please. React to it, re-upload the react on YouTube, whatever you want to do, it works for me. I want to thank the experts and the lawyers for their trust and getting involved with this.
I'm scared now. There's a lot of drama right now with react. Was it transformative enough, my reaction, guys? Oh. Yo, editors, listen here. I think we're good to go.
Yes, and I want to
oh shit.
thank the people who were brave enough to
he likes it. Like, I've had it before where 3Clicks said, hey, like he didn't say it, but he said like, oh, and my content is getting re-uploaded. He was kind of showing as well, like, our re-uploads. Of course, now we stopped, but Hangegange said it's he wants it to be re-uploaded, you know?
Talk about their problems in front of a camera for the entire internet to see, talking about their problems, their addictions, all of that. They've opened up in the only hope to help other people. It's a brave thing to do, and I really hope my community will do justice to that. Now, it is time for me to go AFK for a bit. I need to get away from, you know, all of that. I'll come back in a bit, and in the meantime, mandatory posture check.
In those moments of self-clarity, I keep telling myself this exact same thing of, I need to stop, I need to do better, I need to not do this. And then I fall victim to it again. I fall back into the cycle where I watch a video of someone gambling because it gets on my YouTube recommended. I watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, I can open cases. I got some money, I got paid last week. It's that moment of cloudiness, that snap second. I'm hoping, you know, maybe someone who's maybe 16, 17, maybe just turned 18 can look at that and go, man, I really don't want that to be me. I hope someone can hopefully look at anything anyone here has said and either recognize that they're at the start of their gambling, or even if they're at the end where they're like, holy crap, I've spent more than this dude, you know, or even if you've spent half of what I've spent or 3 times as much, it doesn't matter if you, I hope someone can recognize that, you know, that they have a problem. I urge everyone who either regularly or has, you know, frequented gambling sites or opens cases on CSGO to really self-reflect and, you know, go, how much a month am I spending on this? Is that something that I can afford to lose, or am I doing this in hopes of getting rich? If you're doing it in hopes that your next click will be the big one, well, like I was, well, I hope someone can look at that and go, and have the same realization that I did yesterday of, I'm not the special one.
Wow.
When I learned to map for Counter.
Oh. Quickly out. Oh god. Don't want any drama. Jesus. Big video. Bro, you have to realize as well, chat, one thing. What does Haungangange get from this? Nothing. It's literally out of good, how do you say, good faith. After he realized like how shady the whole scene is. Views? No. It's then he would be uploading CS2 update videos or whatever that would have the same, you know. This is AdSense. You're trolling, right? Brother, it's if it was about money, then he would be taking the fucking 120k gambling sponsor and wouldn't be uploading something against that topic and make like $500 on the video maximum. Yeah. Boys, this is the link. At best, put the video right now on your phone, mute it, and throw the phone on your bed. So some watch time goes through and the video gets more recommended. But also subscribe, of course. Big video.